Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday night. Welcome in to your favorite show, period, the Bama Standard.
You almost screwed that up. I seen you, Justin.
Folks, you know what? This is the last show with Marvin Constant. We're going to be bringing on a respectful co-host. But anyway, before we do anything, before we let Marvin speak anymore, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're in the live chat, get rowdy tonight. And if you're watching the replay, get in the comment section. Let us know what you think, because we got some topics tonight that definitely are going to get you stirred up. And we also have a new segment tonight, the Bama Standard Top Fan, where we get the top fan of the week to come in and ask our panel a question. Anyway, I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is a loudmouth living legend, 1999 SEC champion, the Marvin Constant, senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, Stephen M. Smith, and a few late guys who may be on later. What's going on,
man,
fellas?
I'm going to need you to put all SEC linebacker in front of my title, too. I'm going to need you to give me all of my glory, okay? Don't shortchange me now.
And a reminder, Marvin Constant is the humblest linebacker to play in Alabama history.
Oh, man.
With our topics tonight, I have two gentlemen that needed to be here to provide the proper analysis, but I'm not going to introduce them the right way. There's only one man who can do that, and that's the Stephen M. Smith. And Stephen, Bo just popped in, so go ahead and give him his.
Steve. Before you introduce them, though, I want them both to know that I wore this shirt today for a reason. Because normally I just wear my black T-shirts. But you see what this one say.
It says extra small.
Family, friends, and football. I do consider these two gentlemen, family. And before you go into this introduction, Steve, I got to say it one more time, man. One of the biggest motivating factors for me as a freshman walking into Alabama was seeing Mr. EJ Jr.'s picture on the wall with so many other legends in their weight room, man. How can you not be inspired to do great things after looking at all these pictures on the wall of all these that came before you, man? If you weren't inspired by these guys, I don't know to tell
you. He said that after looking in the mirror as well. But Stephen M. Smith, go ahead and introduce Bo, who just jumped in, because only you can do it right, because I failed last week, and then our two guests.
Well, we got our third co-host here of the show. He is most definitely the face of the USFL, the face of the Birmingham Stallions, the chairman of the USFL, the vice president. He basically run the whole league. He's a spokesperson. He do it all. Two-time national championship running back. A guy that's just an all-around Renaissance man. We got Bo Scarborough in the building, baby. We got Bo in here.
Renaissance.
Hey, he is definitely the face. You see how big that man's face is?
Hey, grande frentas. Hey.
That's all right, Bo. I got your back. You look good. You look good on television the other day. I'm still trying to figure out what you do to your leg, but hey, they do miss you and they do need you.
Hey. They had to say odioso.
Wait a second. Oh, guys. Introducing the star of the Bama Standard and them, the comedy legend, Steve Brown.
How are you guys? How are you?
Hey, Steve.
How are you? I'm back. How are you?
You back, huh?
How are you? How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Good.
Great. You guys look amazing. You look amazing. Not better than me, but you look amazing. Yeah.
They should all have goals, and you're the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Stephen, introduce our guest.
Absolutely. So it's not great to just have one champion. We gotta have two of them. You gotta have two national champions in here because two is better than one. So we start off with the champion of the Bear Bryant era, one of the greatest hard-hitting, quick, fast, dynamic linebackers that came in a lineage of linebackers, but he paved his own way. Because how about paving your own way? We got a national champion, Mr. EJ Jr. is in here. And right below that national champion, we got the man that still got Lamar Thomas crying to this day. We got the man that still rocking that 1992 national championship ring. We got the man that Jay Barker is still saying thank you to this very day. We got George Hitman Teague in here.
Yeah, all right.
But you know what, though?
Yeah.
But according to Lassick and Kaylee, the offense carried the team. I'm just telling you what they see.
Hey, Steven, you forgot an accolade that you didn't give to EJ. You didn't say he was a lot better than Marvin Constant. Could you put that in there, please?
You have a hole you need to crawl back into.
Just say he was a lot. I would be so satisfied with that and then we can carry on the show. Could you just say that he was a whole lot better than Marvin Constant, please? If you don't mind. Thank you.
He was a whole lot better than Marvin Constant.
There was no power behind that.
And you let him rope you into this nonsense?
Hey, man. Hey, Justin, who invited Teague back?
Oh, well, we got a new sponsor just for men, and this is who they sent.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I wasn't even going to talk about Justin because if you talk to him off the air, he does not sound like this. He put his radio voice on for the damn show. But then when he off air, his voice be high to the mug, man.
Oh.
He got his deadlift voice on now.
That's it. Room full of alphas.
Hey, Marvin, so you got another one of your nephew's shirts on again, huh? Okay.
No, my traps, they just big, man. What y'all want me to do? You want me to go buy a 2X next? Yeah, I mean, if an extra large and a large fit me, like, what more do y'all want, man? It's the traps, okay? I work out, all right? I can't help that, the genetics are still doing what they do.
Now, see, Bo got traps. I don't know what you got.
Now, Mr. Junior, see, I've been over here minding my
Welcome back, guys. Glad to have y'all back here.
Hey, Steve,
See,
Cummings must be
I
doing
even
well.
said Mr. Junior. See, I've been minding my business over here.
You behaving tonight, Marvin, so far.
Hey, man, I'm glad I'm back, though, man. I hate that I missed the last show. As y'all know, I was on the Tom Joyner cruise, getting sexually assaulted by 70, 80, and 90-year-old women, and I loved it.
Tell us that story. We know you was doing time. Hey, we know you had that 2-week stint. Come on.
Marvin.
To the wrong person at the comedy show. They got him.
They buddy who jumped on that stage came back one more time.
We got him, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm glad you're doing well though, because I can tell you making some money and stuff because your background is a whole lot different. You ain't sitting in front of that damn ragged ass dope. You only
hey man, listen.
You got something else going on.
Marvin's at a Holiday Inn Express.
Winks, T.
He at his auntie house right now. He ain't at home.
Marvin's
Anyway,
at a Holiday Inn Express, George.
Huh?
Said Marvin's at a Holiday Inn Express. Look at those curtains.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. Super 8. That's
Super.
As much as he's saving on clothes by not buying the right size shirt, he surely could upgrade the
I'm gonna let all y'all have it today. Y'all
Man, before we jump into the Stephen M. Smith segment, I want to remind all the fans in 30 minutes, we're going to have the Bama Standard Top Fan segment where we have a fan we've chosen.
Top fan, what?
Yeah, we're a fan
What
we've
happened to
chosen
the
to come
G?
on.
Come on, man. Don't let everybody know you from Mississippi. I mean, we need you to slow down.
Welcome to the Marvin Constant Show where he talks
Use
95%
your
of the
syllables,
time.
sir.
tell us again, Justin. Shut up, Marvin. What'd you say now?
The Bama Standard Top Fan segment where the top fan of each week.
What's the G? Segment.
Oh, my God.
Shut up, man. Go ahead.
Oh, you
Man,
gone.
so, yes, we're giving back to the fans. We're allowing a fan to come on and ask the panel one question, and once they have gotten the right answer, they jump off. But yeah, it's a great way to involve the fans and get more viewers. Now, we'll let Mark back in. Just in time for Stephen M. Smith's depth chart.
Hey, that's nice. That's nice. But So we get into this here. First order of business. All of the freshmen are here. All of the transferred guys are here. They moved in. They moved in yesterday. They're all here. Looking forward to starting this summer training, summer workouts, all that good stuff. What's interesting, Keon Keeley, the summer enrollee linebacker, will actually wear Will Anderson's number. He has chosen 31. So Keon Keeley will wear that number. Does he live up to Will Anderson? We'll see. We'll see, but that's interesting to see how he's wearing that number there. Also, both defensive backs, like I said, from the portal, are both here. Amos and Jalen Key. They got a lot of competition they got to endure in there. So, I mean, you got to look at Malachi Moore you're competing against, Jake Pope, a whole bunch of guys that you're competing against in both safety spots. So the main thing is everybody's here now. So whoever want it, put in the work for it because they're all here.
Man, we're excited. This young class is something that could end up making a huge impact early. Who do you think is going to be the most significant out of these guys coming in?
I don't know, but I'm ready for the season to start tomorrow. I'm ready.
But
I'm not,
because you're optimistic, or
no, because I'm optimistic. I just, it's like a breath of fresh air, man. I think that I know on the defensive side of the ball, I think we're gonna be back to where we were. The aggressive defense and making people quit. You know what I mean? Offense. I think the offense is going to be fine. I really do, but I think we're going to be more of a defensive team this year.
Okay. All right.
Before we kind of jump into all of that, because we got a great topic, George T., you provided a great topic here on Twitter. Recently, the 2020 National Championship team was crowned as the greatest of all time, greatest in school history. Well, what qualifies as the greatest of all time? Yes, they were certainly the best offensive team of all time. And in today's society, that draws in the numbers. That gets people excited. But I think it's a bit skewed. It doesn't take into account the great defenses. And we got two gentlemen on this panel who are part of some of the greatest defenses in school history. EJ, as we said before we got on air, was a part of a squad that only allowed 5.5 points per game. George was a part of one of the most horrific defenses in school history in 1992. And then, 2011 can definitely make its case too. But I haven't really seen a defense, not only at Alabama, but really college football, that's been able to replicate that kind of performance since. So we got to show some love to the defensive guys. George, I'll let you lead off. And then if you would, man, kind of tell us where you're feeling on this. When you post that, what are your initial thoughts? What qualifies to you as the greatest of all time?
Yeah, so that kind of struck a nerve with me just because, I think there is an interesting debate on what actually qualifies for that. And by the way, Marvin, I did just put the post on which team was better, the 1992 team or the 1999 team. So I want to see how that turns out.
I mean, we only won the SEC. Y'all won the national. So hands down, y'all will win that debate.
Well, I appreciate that, but it gets into the argument of what we want to talk about here today. What actually qualifies to be the better team? And it makes it difficult when you got to go across, 20 years or 30 years to do that. But if your team's not complete, right, and we weren't complete either, all right, I can say that our offense wasn't blowing the lights out, but our times was different too. Right?
Uh-huh.
So when I'm talking about this, what I look at, because most of the comments come and say, well, if you bring our team, 1992 team, up into the 2000s or whatever, we wouldn't be able to move the ball because we didn't, we only ran the ball, didn't throw very much. And I want to flip it. And I hadn't put this in there, but I like to flip it. And I bet EJ would say this is you put those offensive guys of 2020 and played against our defense, I'm willing to say some of them guys would get punked and probably wouldn't be able to play because the rules are different.
I agree.
There are wide receivers that, guys, we used to be able to – it was legal for us to hit wide receivers in the throat. In the throat. Choke their asses out. Sorry. And some of these guys couldn't have played back in that. era back then. We could hit them, rip their neck off,
slap them.
You slap them inside of the head and playing press man to man. We could jam them all the way down the field, so they weren't going to be able to catch the ball. So I don't think it's fair to always say, well, the older teams couldn't play in today's age. I'm always thinking, hey, bring them guys back into time a little bit, and let's see.
Too soft.
Let's see, dude. Why do you think they got rid of horse collar tackles and all this other kind of stuff? Because they were, dog, you could do whatever you needed to do to make a play, including offensive linemen, laying on people, pancaking people. You can pick somebody up, tackle. I mean, like body slam them.
You know what? You know what, George? Though you making a great point, and it kind of goes back to the LeBron Jordan thing too. I believe that if Jordan played right now in his prime, easy 60 points a game. But I don't think LeBron can play back in his era like he played now because of the rules. And honestly, as far as the debate on those teams, I don't think that 2020 team, I don't think that was the best team Alabama had. I think they had the best offense, but not the best team, because times are different. And you can get away with a whole lot more. I would like to see that team play an old school Alabama team and see what happens. I don't think they will be doing all.
I agree with you on that, Steve. One of the things I was going to say in the midst of, not to cut you off, Marvin. Back in our day, I mean, we I guarantee you, these defenses could not handle our offense. We were our wishbone offense, and we could cut. See, these guys don't cut anymore. Yeah. See, they kind of blow your knee out. We could basically have helmet-to-helmet contact, and I broke 5 helmets when I was at Alabama. You know, so trying to replace those old bike helmets that now what I think they call air shuts or something. We used to crack helmets and bend face masks. And I think one of the things people forget when you look at a particular year team, also look at the era, because Georgia and them broke our record. They were 45 and 4. Their 4 years that he was there, we were 44-4. So we won 3 SEC championships. Should have won 3 national championships, because we got ripped off our freshman year.
But EJ, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you something else too. You making a great point, because do y'all remember? I don't know what it was, a 2000. I don't know what team it was, but Alabama played Georgia State or somebody at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and Nick Saban was pissed off because he was like, their offense is running through our defense like a tin can or something. He said, but they were running the wishbone. They were running the wishbone.
That was 2011, Steve.
Yeah,
they were running the wishbone. And Alabama had a damn good defense, but they were running through Alabama with the wishbone.
Well, I tell you this, 2020 team, that wasn't even the best offense of in Alabama's history. You know, I'm gonna go back to some of the offenses that Lane Kiffin had. Those were some of the better offenses. So when you look at the 2020 offense, that offense wasn't as good as some of those other offenses. And when you look at that,
I can't say that, Mom. I can't agree with that.
No. I'm going to say it was a top 3 offense, but it wasn't one of the better offenses, though. Again, here's the thing about it. When you look at that 2020 offense, you got to look at one area. You look at that wide receiver room, and that's what separated them from everybody else. But when you look at the offensive line play, was it the same offensive line play that they had in 2009? In 10, 11, 12, it wasn't that same dominant force up front. So when I say it wasn't the best, I'm talking about the complete overall offense. That's
they weren't running the ball as much. They weren't running the ball as much. They were more so of a passing or a read option team. They weren't just smash mouth like those teams. But I think what's his name, the guy that coaches in Texas now, Sark, he did a great job. Now you can't take anything from Lane Kiffin. The only reason I believe the offense wasn't as good because Lane Kiffin got gone quick. They got rid of him. But he had some good offense.
When have you ever seen an offensive coordinator call plays and doing this as soon as the ball snaps on a regular basis?
I do it on PlayStation all the time.
He does. On his live stream. Real quick, Jimmy Clay, shout out to this man, $14 super chat celebrating Montana Fouts and the ladies of the Diamond, the Alabama softball team headed to the College World Series. We had one fan question, or actually comments on this when we were comparing the 92 team to the 2020 team. They said that the 92 team would have been more physical, and David Palmer would have had a field day against the 2020 defense.
Yep.
Well, here's one of the things a lot of people don't understand, and I feel like I can break this down for one reason only. Being at Alabama from 98 to 2000, I was in that transition period from what Teague is talking about to what current football is, when all the rule changes started to occur, when they started to remove the physicality from the game of football and they started to focus more on player safety. That's when you started to see the game get a bit softer. So, no, I don't think that these teams could play back then in the early 90s, the 70s, the 80s. I don't think they could have played in the late 90s because, again, the game has changed so much with the focus on player safety, and it's not the same sport anymore.
No, you can't even breathe on the guy, man. If you look at the guy with big eyes,
flag,
they looking at the ref like, hey, man, he looking at me crazy. They'll throw the flag. No, bro, man, come on, let's play some football. You're
right. Because the game has changed. Once they shifted that focus to player safety, you no longer had people scared of defenses. Like the guys who I played with, we still joke about it to this day. They all say I wouldn't have finished many games because now, like you said, T, you touch a guy the wrong way, it's over. You're out of here.
So is this why in our current teams the linebackers had clear shots on people and they were just laying them down?
Yes.
I would still took them. I'd still roll the dice. Listen, I got to take this shot.
Well, let's ask a guy that's a part of the modern offenses. Bo, what is your thoughts? I know that things have changed greatly, the rules, the intricacies, everything as far as what offenses can do. And you remember how physical the defenses could have been. Where do you kind of stand on this?
It's like I can't speak for Marvin and tease them, because I didn't play back in their time. You know what I'm saying? And like from what Marvin says, like, yeah, I was in the mode where we were switching as well. Because like now in high school, you can't even do 2 days in high school. Back when I was in high school, we was able to do 3 days. We were doing 3 days. So the game has gotten a bit softer. So I can't even say that the 2020 offense was the best offense that ever came through Alabama because, like Marvin said, yeah, we had a great receiving room, but them guys in 2020 also didn't play with the crowd as well. They didn't play with a away crowd. It was just like practice to them. So however they perform in practice, how they perform in the game. So
Great point.
So it was all flat across the board. So I have to say, like, 2012 defense, you got a lot of defenses out of 09 defense. Like, what about the time that we had 2 running back that had 1,000 yards and a receiver that had 1,000 yards and the QB had 3,500 yards? It's hard to compare these offenses and defenses because of at one moment our defense scored 12, 13 times.
Yeah, but Bo, to my point, when I said that receiver room, you brought it up again. Them dudes ain't worried about no safety sitting there sighting them up, ready to take their heads off because they know they protected. It ain't the same.
Right.
I got another point too. It's kind of off, but we gonna all stop watching college football when the running back comes through the hole and put his head down and truck somebody and they get him for targeting. That's when I'm gonna stop watching football.
Well, I'm hoping they call it because it makes me mad every time I actually see it. It happens already. I'm like, come on, man.
Think about it. If a running back put his head down and truck somebody and he make helmet-to-helmet contact, they're gonna get him for targeting.
Oh yeah,
they need to. If the defense
would have been thrown out.
Offense should be.
I don't think that happened, Steve. He got fined $28,000. Yeah, they fined him $28,000. Wes Hills in Detroit. His first game, it was like the week 15, playing against Tampa, put his head down on the goal line, targeting 28,000. Then
I was, you know what, Bo? I was thinking about things to come, but that's already happening.
Oh yeah, it does happen.
They don't call it often, but yeah, it does happen.
It's rare.
And now it's even harder for a defensive person to make a good hit because you have to adjust your target level below where that helmet is. Even when you're trying to hit somebody with the shoulder pad. I mean, I'm watching the Birmingham game the other day. Guy had a perfect angle on a hit, but because the guy was just a little bit lower, his helmet hit his helmet, so now he got called for targeting. Now, he didn't get thrown out of the game. It was a personal foul. But see, back in the day, we didn't have to worry about that. We put our face masks right in those numbers. And guess what the top of your crown is going to be? Under his chin.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to drive through.
And you're going to run through them and try to plant them into the ground. I mean, I'm still pissed about the game against the Redskins. When I slung Joe Theismann down, halfway down, they blow the whistle and call me for roughing the passer. You can't even touch these guys now.
You did it. You did it.
You know,
you did it. Brother EJ, you did it. I saw what type of player you were. You did it. You did it.
Well,
hey, so what we saying is that hit that Cornelius Bennett made on the what's his name?
Steve Berline.
Yeah. So they would have gotten him for targeting. They would have put him out for the season.
He's been out for 8 games.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And Biscuit was known for that, man.
and would have been called a dirty player and try to run him out of the league or something like that. I mean,
like I said, it's kind of hard because the era has changed. It's just like trying to compare Michael Jordan, LeBron to back in the day when Kareem and Kobe and even when you start looking at Bill Russell. The game has changed so much. We only played 11 games. Now they're playing 11 games plus playoffs.
No, basketball, you can't talk about basketball like that because they shorts changed. They used to wear them old raggedy old shorts like that. Our uniforms ain't changed. They were different back in the day.
No, George. It did change because we used to. Our offense used to have tearaway jerseys. So if you tried to grab what Johnny Davis and Tony Nathan them, you have a handful of cloth.
My coach used to just make me wear a dress shirt.
What sport you play?
Football. I had on a button down. I was the only one out there with a button down on.
So the pass, you had a polo on top of a button down, looking like you was going to an Easter speech. You know what?
So to wrap up this segment, guys, what do you feel qualifies as the best of all time? What would end the debate?
Complete team, offense, defense, special teams, coaching.
So, can we put something to that though? Does that mean like guys that got equally drafted, into the pros that year? How do you quantify?
But Teague, the thing about it though, Teague, but that team would have been so much better had they had a real defensive coordinator.
Justin, you know what? I would say this. Honestly, it's really too hard to tell. You gotta look at all the team. It's too hard to tell, man. It is. It's too hard to tell.
Well, a lot of people put the quantifying factor on. Okay, how many went to the pros? Did they turn into Hall of Famers? But I don't. I'm just saying some of the arguments that I've been hearing and have been talking to people about it. It's, do you look at that team, a certain team and say, well, this one had 11 drafted and that one had 13 drafted, and what rounds would go?
No, I believe Teague. You trying to twist the tables because most of it apply to him because you about to be a Hall of Famer. You went to the league. That's what you're doing, Teague. You know it.
I don't even know. I know we had a lot of guys drafted. I know we had a lot of 3 first rounders, but
Teague, tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh well, that's it.
If that team had a real defensive coordinator, you would have seen a lot more draft picks come off that defense.
Okay.
We'll continue this debate over the next few weeks, so we will bring you guys back because I feel like we got a lot of content. The next order of business, and this kind of applies to this year, is Alabama a playoff caliber team in 2023? Yes, I know a lot of doubt is surrounding this team, first and foremost because Bryce Young's not going to be there. We get it. But to a lot of people out in the audience, Alabama appeared vulnerable. But, guys, what is vulnerable? Alabama lost 2 games on the last play of the game. If we come away with those victories, we're undefeated in the regular season, and we're playing Georgia and Atlanta. And you can doubt Alabama if you want to, but it's my duty to inform you that out of the 6th highest rated recruiting classes in all of college football history, 3 of those classes right now are on campus. We are loaded. So, where is this team headed? Stephen and Smith, I'll start with you. Then we'll go to EJ, Steve, Bo, George, and then finish up with Marvin.
I've said this throughout the offseason so far. It goes as far as who is the starting quarterback. Because I feel like defensively with Kevin Steele, you're set. I would like to see more of the rotation from Freddie Roach in the defensive line, but I feel like with Kevin Steele, you're set defensively. Offensive line is going to be a lot better. You're going to have a stable full of running backs. The thing is, who snatches that quarterback position? Who runs with it? They're all here now. I think that's the biggest thing. Can Tommy Rees make something happen here with whoever the quarterback is?
Shout out to Jimmy Clay, $20 in the super chat. When is the next show at Bryant Museum? We will be there live this fall to cover a few games. So be on the lookout for that announcement.
And when I bring their stuff back,
that's the main reason they're asking us back. It's really to collect what Steve took. EJ, what you got, man? What do you need to see that qualifies this team as a playoff contender?
I think the biggest thing that I'm still trying to look at Alabama, and it's happened over the last several years. I know they changed defensive coordinator. Alabama has to be able to stop a quarterback who's able to run and throw. I mean, when you look at Ole Miss, when you look at Texas A&M, when you look at Tennessee last year, when you look at what happens in a lot of the games that Alabama had a problem with defensively, many points of the offense score. If you can shut down the run, but then you can't account for the quarterback who's a running quarterback, and he's a passing threat as well. Those things have to improve. So I think the secondary play will have a lot to do with it because they're going to have to account for the quarterback, and I think Kevin Steele will be able to do that because they didn't over the last several years, and that gave Alabama issues.
Hey, hold on.
Somebody said,
Did y'all read that comment? Did y'all read that comment?
Hey, Steve, he got that chair from the Deacon Lounge.
Real talk, I actually did.
Hey, EJ, while you were talking, somebody put up a comment and said, I took my first Easter Sunday picture on that couch Steven got.
That's just wrong. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for the rest of the family on that sofa, Steve.
Oh my God. Our fans are the best. We love our fans.
They are. To the fans.
It's comfortable too now, for real.
Yeah, I know it is.
Take that back to the Deacon Lounge.
Hey, Deacon Brown will be all right. He'll miss this couch.
It's okay.
Plastic back on. Go ahead, Steve.
So EJ came up with a great point. My point is, I think that Coach Saban is going back to his old ways, the same formula Georgia took. He's going back to that. So honestly, we don't really need a prolific quarterback or somebody who's going to do it all. We just need somebody to be a game manager. That's usually what we've had in the past. Bryce Young was a great quarterback, and we understood we use the skills, but we don't have the quarterbacks with the skill set. I still think Jalen Milroe will be the man. Why? Because he's a more of a threat as a playmaker. But the defense is set. I'm not concerned about that. And we got a stable of running backs and a great offensive line. So I think we're going ground and pound and probably play action. That's what I'm looking at.
All right, fair enough. Bo, your thoughts, man. Is this the playoff caliber team, and what do you need to see?
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna always say that we're a playoff caliber team because of Coach Saban and what we do at Alabama. But Steve, I'm gonna go back to what you said that you good on our defense, but how could you be good on our defense when we don't even know who the starting linebacker is going to be? First, we got to know who the front seven is going to be first before we can go back to what Mr. Junior was saying, that how can we stop a running quarterback, a quarterback that can run and throw?
I can answer that question. I'm good on our defense because I think that we have a more experienced and aggressive defensive coordinator. And as you can see in the 8-day game, we do have some dogs on defense. That's why I said I'm good on defense.
Yeah, but
and I get what you're saying, though.
At the same time, you can have the greatest. You can have Kirby Smart back there, but if you don't have the players to outplay it, then it's not going to work. Like you can have the greatest athlete, but if they're not fundamentally sound, then they're gonna get beat by a fundamentally sound team.
Yeah, I get it.
You see what I'm
but
saying?
I think having Kevin. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all fall back on the tree, as in, who gonna be the front seven?
I get it.
And we got to be able to start the run. Are we gonna get ran down our throat like a 10-4 out of here like last year? Or we gonna go in the B gap, in the A gap, and start the run?
I like I said, Kevin Steele.
I understand what you're saying as well, because Kevin Steele have that dog in him, and he have the mentality of the Coach Saban defense. What we all been looking for, what we all want. But then again, at the same time, it's also
you gotta have the dogs.
You gotta have the players as well.
The dogs.
You gotta be disciplined.
Yeah, because we were so undisciplined last year, it was ridiculous.
I blame that. I blame that on the defensive coordinator, though.
It's your time, Mark.
Well, actually, you're last, but yeah, George, if you want to weigh in, do you feel like this team is going to go back to the mantra of win on D, count on me? I mean, isn't that what you guys were about? Because I really honestly feel that, we don't have to rely on Julius Murderball to win games anymore. I feel like that we can go back to the aggressive style where we just wear them down and rely on a tough, strong defense. And we might not score a lot of points initially, but we'll eventually wear them out. What are your thoughts?
I feel like we say this like every year. All the things that you guys are saying, it seems like repeat, actually. But I am optimistic about this team. I do think that we will be that we are already a playoff caliber team. I do have some concerns still because my biggest concern is going to be about what EJ was kind of more talking about. What is the secondary really going to look like? There are tremendous players. How are we going to put them in position to be able to cover somebody? Our weaknesses were in the secondary last year. There were some other things, but we were getting torched on, man. We couldn't cover nobody, man. Giving up a lot of points, long passes, they're just running past people, and a lot of that was scheme. So maybe that's, the coordinator comes in and does that. But if we're not technically sound to be able to cover deep balls, crossing routes, all the new age things, we're still going to be in trouble, or we're going to have to try to win games, more high scoring than we need. So I'm really interested. I don't get a chance to watch practice and see how Kool-Aid and those guys look and all that kind of stuff. But if they're still lined up the same way they have been, if Nick Saban is just saying, hey, line up like this, I think there's going to be a world of hurt on defense if we don't fix some of the technical issues.
FYI, I'm not sold on Kool-Aid. Go ahead.
Marvin, that leaves you to
finish
this up
in it,
before our next segment.
So what you
got to put sugar in your Kool-Aid. You can't let this man rant. Go on rant, boy. Go on rant.
Hey, listen. Listen. Alabama became a title contender the moment they fired Pete. The moment that pen hit that paper.
Oh my God.
Alabama became a title contender. And why do I say that? Because again, you look at the recruiting classes that they've had. Some of the best and most talented recruiting classes in college football history are on campus together. I get it. Our secondary looked bad last year. But hell, Teague, you, Langham, y'all whole crew could have been backed up. When you're not getting pressure up front and the quarterback has all day to throw, anybody's going to look like an All-American. Same thing in terms of alignment up front. When you're not gap sound, they're going to run the ball down your throat. You're going to be behind the downs on the sticks, second and short, third and short. So now the offensive coordinator can call whatever he wants to call. And especially going up against a coordinator like Pete, the moment was too big for him. He was never in a position to where he could have been successful in this job because his past didn't define his future. So moving forward, is this team a title contender? Hell yeah. Kevin Steele, old school SEC coordinator. He's coached some of the best linebackers that's come out of this conference, man. And defensive line as well. So I'm looking forward to him and that personality getting these asses lined up where they need to be and lighting fire under them. And you're going to see that defense play lights out this year. And offense is going to give you just enough to give you what you need.
Do y'all realize? Do y'all realize that the skin on your elbow and the skin on your knee is the same skin?
Steve, do you realize that the first time in our podcast history, Marvin kept a response under 2 minutes?
What?
Impossible. But that's because Pete Golden was in the chat and he said, "You do realize I'm gone, and you don't have to keep talking about me every time."
well, T. The problem is we hadn't played another game without him yet. So until we play another game without him to prove people what the problem really was, we still stuck on what happened.
No, the reason he kept it so short because he got on that halter top and he didn't want to run out of breath.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. All right, great info, guys. Now it's time to introduce our new segment, and that's Bama Standard Top Fan, where we vote or we bring on one of the top fans of the Bama Standard each week. And I got a gentleman who's been involved heavily in our live chats and just about any content we have throughout our entire channel. We have 3 shows, and we also have video clips, and you can find this man in just about all of them. And he's going to come on and ask his question to this awesome panel. And that is none other than Van Edwards. Welcome on, sir. Congratulations. You were the first in this segment. Welcome. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, guys. It's an honor and a privilege to get to be here. I appreciate it.
What's up, man?
Man, are you in a cave? Where you at? You in
I'm close to it.
He in that room behind Steve.
Easy, Marvin. You were my favorite linebacker growing up, man. I always defend you.
Hey, that room looks great.
Hey, Van, let me ask you a question. Is it me or is Marvin's shirt super tight?
Well, I didn't really want to comment on it, but since you said something, it does look like he got it at the baby gap.
Man, I thought we were here. Drag. See, come on.
Let's keep him on the show.
I think so. But Marvin, your shirt is here. But man, Van, I know you got a question. If you would go ahead and ask of the panel. I know these guys have a lot to say, especially the guy in the extra small beside you. What you got for us this week?
I just like to know, with the new offensive coordinator and the new defensive coordinator coming in, do you think Alabama, did we change our style a little bit, or is it more of the same with just more improvement with work with the individual players? Or how do y'all see this going? I know it bleeds into what y'all just discussed in the last topic, but I'm just curious, how do y'all think the new coordinators impact the team this year going forward?
Hey, man, before we answer, what are your thoughts on Pete Golden?
Well, I'm going to try to keep it family friendly, but every time I hear the word.
Hey, whoa. Hold on, sir. Excuse me. Respectfully, if you keep it family friendly, we don't want you on this show. Call it like it is, sir.
Exactly.
Well, Pete Golden can kiss my ass. Every time I see a wheel route, I have nightmares of about 3 different games this year where his defense acted like they didn't know what they'd seen before. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pete Golden. I think he makes Ole Miss worse.
That's a good thing. That's a great thing.
I'm for it.
All right, so to answer your question, I think that that with the new defensive coordinator coming to Alabama, it's going to upgrade us tremendously. And I think Nick Saban is going to let the new offensive coordinator do his thing, but I think he's going to slow the offense down a bit more to a more running offense and play action. That's what I think. What do you think, Teague?
I'm afraid of that. I think that anytime you get new coordinators coming in, so I did have a change in the whole staff, right? So something new after my first year. So there was fresh blood, new meat, and all this kind of stuff, and we really embraced our coordinators and our head coach. So I think that is a good thing that actually happened. I do worry about, if you change an offense and you come so heavily run. I don't know what that means per percentage-wise because of the way the transfer portal works and all this kind of stuff. And that if you start running the ball too much, are you gonna put yourself in a bad spot with guys wanting to leave? Particularly on the outside when you need explosive guys like that. So I think Saban has to be very, very careful about that. Are you 60-40 one way or the other, or do you, where is it when it starts to get too skewed? So I'm worried about that on the outfield.
And real quick, we have to say thank you to George. We appreciate you coming on. I know you have a dinner date with your daughter. So before you head off to that,
she don't even like him.
If you would, go ahead and pop your show. And so the fans in the audience right now can know where to find you on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Teague's Take Wednesday night, 8:15 p.m. Central Time. It's always live. We get on it and get after it. We have a good time, talk a lot of Alabama football. Hey, I'm looking forward to you guys need to know this because I'm looking forward to doing some new things the next season, which will start in July. A lot more chalk talk and different things. And I'm glad you told me about Marvin and knowing that he is long-winded a little bit, so I might have to. I asked him to come on the show a few times. Him and Bo.
Hell no.
But if he's going to run it, if he's going to take up the whole show and not become Teague's take, it becomes Marvin's take. Then
don't bring him on.
Gonna be the one to take all your time now.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. T, you will lose so many viewers if you had this grown man on with this onesie. Don't do it.
Don't you have a prison talent show to go host or something?
So I do appreciate it. Y'all check us out there. Find us on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Get out some good information and watch these polls that we're putting out because we're going to try to find out how people are voting on these teams as we make a bracket from the 1920s to the 2020s on who they think will win the football game.
That's what's up. Hey, Teague, man, come back anytime, but don't wear that shirt. It look like it's made out of do-rag material. Look,
Well, I guess I got to end on this because there's nobody on this show got on no damn Russell shirt except for you. They don't even make them damn things no more. I see it. Y'all see it.
Hey, T. The R is backwards.
See, he been diving in them clothing drop off boxes at the gas station.
Hey, Justin, let T go. Go, get up our show.
Hey, T, he out there got his daughter holding their ankles while he in the box.
I'm glad to have you as always, sir. Come on back anytime.
All right, I gotta go, man. I'll see y'all.
All right,
yeah. All right, Van Edwards. To answer your question real quick, though, I gotta say this real quick.
It ain't gonna be quick.
The coordinators are gonna make an amazing difference. I say this all the time. Kids in college are exactly what we say they are. They're kids. They're student athletes. They're easily influenced. And a lot of times they play to the personality of their coach, being that coordinator or position coach. Having that replacement, I think you're going to see their attitudes change, and it will directly correlate to what you see on the field.
All right. Bo, what you got?
I would say that Coach Saban always keep the original offense and let the offensive coordinator put his spin to it.
Right.
And of course we're gonna be a 4-2-5 team. And what I think, defense, like you said, Steve, from that standpoint, defense is set. But from the offensive coordinator, I do think that Coach Saban is gonna let him put his little spin on it. But we also is gonna be in a pro style offense as well.
Okay. Hey, Justin, can I ask Van one more question?
Absolutely, and then we'll turn it over to EJ and let Steven answer last.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Let them go do the thing. I'll ask them later.
EJ, what you got for him?
Looking from, I'm a linebacker coach, and I'm going into my second year here at Allen University. And we changed our defense a little bit from what we did last year with LC Coles. But the one thing that a new coordinator brings to the table is discipline. And I think one of the things that Kevin Steele will bring is discipline. I think we had a great spring because we felt we made the adjustments. We improved the football IQ. We understood what we needed to do. We're a gap sound defense. We're more of a 3-4 hybrid. But the 4-2-5 is a very good defense if you have the D-line and the linebackers to do it, because the secondary coverage is basically based on what that front seven does. But it still has to be discipline on both ends. Can they read routes? Can they communicate? And as long as they teach these kids how to communicate, because one of the things Alabama does, they have a check for everything that you do. And they got to communicate that so the defense does not break down. When there's a breakdown in communication, that's when big plays happen. And I think that's something that has to be constantly done during the spring and now during the fall camps. And those guys are going to get that in.
All right. Stephen M. Smith, that leaves you. What wisdom do you have?
I feel like it's going to be a lot more physicality and energy now. There was not a lot of energy this past season. You can see it on the sidelines. Guys were not jumping like they used to jump. They weren't being active on the sidelines like they were when you had the Jonathan Allens, the Deron Paynes, the Tim Williams, those guys, because those guys were active on the sidelines. They had a lot of energy. So this time around, you're seeing that more. I go back to the spring game, and there were so many plays where if a defensive guy made a big play, you saw Malachi Moore dap up Caleb Downs. You saw Earl Little, after an athletic pick, the whole team mobbed on top of him. You just saw so much energy on the field, and that's what's been missing the last 2 years, but not just that, the physicality, wanting to get after people, either as offense, moving guys off the ball, or defensive guys wanting to make that play and showing that type of toughness. I think having both Kevin Steele and Tommy Reese in here, it has brought back the need to, you got to be physical. It has brought back the need of, we got to have this energy in the room, and Bama's got both of that back.
Awesome. All right, Steve Brown, you said you had a question for Van before we turn him loose?
Yeah, Van, would you like to be a part of the Bama Standard? We can let Marvin go anytime.
Oh, I'd love it.
Steve just mad because my trap's bigger than his.
And we know
rat traps.
And like his Instagram, thirst traps. Anyway.
Wow. Crazy. Come on, Justin.
Van, we appreciate you coming on and being a part of the craziness. Love to have you back on again. Right now, you are the top fan, so you have that title for an entire week. We appreciate you, brother. Roll Tide.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, Van, I love you.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, man.
What?
That's awesome. But yeah, if you'd like to be a part of our top fan segment, it's real simple. Get active. We need to see you live in the chats, in the comment section, and wherever else we are found. But also email us, thebamastandard@gmail.com. Tell us why you are the top fan.
All right, and we're trying to replace Marvin. You know,
on Craigslist, look for our ad to replace Marvin Constant.
Thank you.
So let's move into our closing segment, and we'll start with Marvin Constant. If you would, talk to us about 40 Plus Strong, what you got coming up during the summer, and how they can find you other than your OnlyFans.
You can find me on Instagram, Constant45. Yeah, and again, if you're looking for a tool that's going to help you later in life to get in shape, lose unwanted pounds, and maintain a healthy lifestyle, you can grab a copy of my book, Physical and Mental Fitness at 40 Plus. The link to purchase is on my my Instagram, direct to Amazon. But you see them guns, though, baby. We still got but it's a different approach at this age, and everything you need to be successful is in that book. 3 different 6-week workout programs you can write in the book to track your progress along the way. And I'm always available for questions.
That's what's up. Steve Brown, what you got coming up? How can people find you? Where are you appearing next? More importantly,
just got time during the cruise, man. I will be here in Atlanta tonight, as a matter of fact, at the Humidor doing my thing, and I'm working on a special. We'll talk about that later, but it's gonna be something big.
That's what's up. Y'all tune in for that. Bo, you got a lot of things going on, including your own show, which is on Wednesday nights. Talk to the people. Tell them how they can find everything you got going on.
Oh yeah, tomorrow at 7:30, developmental focus point with me, Blake, and Trent Richardson. And you can find me on Instagram, Bo Scarborough, and we have Philadelphia Stars at home at 2:00 Central Time, 3:00 Eastern Time. So make sure y'all come out to the last home game of the Birmingham Stallions and support us. And hopefully we host a playoff here in Birmingham after we get these 3 wins.
Sounds great. Stephen M. Smith, tell us what you got going on before we turn it over to our guest of honor.
Hardcore Pillar.
Absolutely. So tomorrow here we got In My Own Words at 6:30. We're still looking at summer stuff with the summer enrollees in. Going to discuss how many of these guys can actually contribute, be a part of a team, and make an impact on the team. We'll also provide some updates on the softball team, which is now in OKC, getting ready for the Women's College World Series. The baseball team hosting a regional game, so big up to the Bama baseball getting it done. And also for Bama men's basketball, Mark Sears is coming back. We're trying to see if Javon Quinley will come back as well. So some updates, but definitely look at these summer enrollees as they're all in here.
Awesome. That leaves the College Football Hall of Famer, EJ Jr. First of all, sir, it's always an honor to have you on here. It's been way too long. We need to have you back a lot more, brother. But we appreciate you coming on. If you would, talk to the fans, tell them what you got up next, and then how they can find you on social media.
Well, basically, I'm here at Allen University, so we'll still have a chance to do some things as a Division II HBCU here in South Carolina. We will be in Alabama this year and play against former Alabama coach Sam Shea during the season in October. We're looking forward to doing some great things. I do daily inspirational on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn under _E or EJ Jr. the third. On Facebook, because one of the things I still want to do is get the word out to God and let it apply to everyday life to help each other and help us to stay on the path that God has purposed us to do.
That's what's up. Hey, Coach EJ, is Coach Keaton still there?
Yes, sir. He's my boss.
Yeah, that's my
Teddy, the head coach.
Teddy, you got Teddy, LC Cole. Yeah, we having a lot of fun over here.
Yeah, that's my dude. I coached under him in Stillman. So yeah, tell him I said what's up, man.
I sure will.
Yeah, tell Teddy I said hello. I didn't know Teddy was the coach.
Yeah.
You did know, Marvin.
I didn't know he was the head coach at Allen right now.
Oh.
Steve, care to touch on this?
No, somebody said Steve needs to stop looking down. That glare off his head is going to give someone a stigmatism. Man, listen. Hey man, this is why I love our fans. Thank you so much.
Fans.
Love the fans. Not that one.
Not that one. He might be a top fan next week, so you get a chance to question that.
I know. My tell me the glare on my head gonna get somebody a stigmatism. That's not cool. and y'all supposed to have my back, and y'all laughing about this. Bo, you laughing at this dog? I thought maybe you were laughing at.
Yep, we're laughing. Yep.
Man, fantastic show, guys. I want to remind everybody we have more shows on this network tonight in just an hour, 8 p.m. Central. The Final Whistle with Matt Caddell, Chris James, Coach Smook, and Dan James. They will be bringing you more Bama content tomorrow night right here, 7:30 p.m. Central. Developmental Focus Points with Bo Scarborough, Trent Richardson, and Blake Sims. Got some great topics. A lot of things that athletes need to hear off the field. It's not just about the on-the-field accolades or what's going on at Bama. It's the things that y'all definitely need to hear. But, yeah, like and subscribe. Keep this channel growing and going. And also be our top fan. We need somebody next week. But that'll do it for us here tonight. Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.